always make sure that I conduct my hearing in a reasonable and level-headed manner, and to focus on the facts. So if the morale is down, it's not coming from us, it's coming from the other camp. And so, you know, our position is to go forward with what we have, and then perhaps, you know, we'll follow your track record as far as responses, and then next year we may have a different conversation.
May I ask when you asked for that documentation?
Yes, you may ask me.
I actually, if it was during the February meeting or the March meeting, it just,
Give me a second, please.
thank you.
While you're looking that up, Mayor, if I can point out one thing, I note that in 2011 so far, that our first aid squad has responded to Manitou Park and mutual aid calls outside of our town 54 times, and only had 38 times another squad, and never quality. And into, now this is directly from the county, who dispatches our squad. I'm not sure where you can get more accurate numbers.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense, though. You mean to say quality has never once come into South Toms River in 2011?
I'm going by the records that
Because the
county
chief is
provided.
telling us quality came in 35 times. I mean, it's not like you guys say 30 and he says 35. You guys say 0.
I'll be happy to,
Well,
I
the
mean,
county says zero.
Well,
that's the county.
Is that a distinction between mutual aid and being directly called during the day or
That's
something?
why I have it broken down specifically quality.
Yeah, but you have mutual aid from quality as 0. Is there quality
Well,
response?
it's not, but I have it on my synopsis of that, but that information comes directly from the county records. I'll be happy to give you the name and phone number.
But how could you not have used quality during the day?
We don't.
They're not our dispatch.
They're not, excuse me, they are not our dispatch. They're not in our dispatch. We have a protocol.
Yeah,
Squad
I
30
understand that.
Squad 37 gets dispatched, and then Squad 46, which is in one of Holiday City squad. They get dispatched on second request. Quality is not on our dispatch at all. So if the chief told you that quality came into our town during the day, I don't know what town he was in.
Well, he's telling us he got these records from the county. He told me he talked to the same person you did, Jim Beligny, and that's who you wrote your letter to. And he said to me, I spoke to Mr. Beligny, and this is the information he gave us. So, I mean, like I say, it's not like it's a couple numbers off. You guys are saying 0, he's saying 28, so somehow or another, not 35, I misspoke. That was a different number. He's saying 28 for quality in 2011.
Again, we went right off of what was given to us by the
I hear
county,
you.
and Jim was the one who provided that to us.
All right, for the record, I met with First Aid Squad on 2 occasions. On February 10th, 2011 at 2:16 p.m. And the next one was on February 14th, 2011 at 2:22 p.m.
This was 2 months ago, thank you. I'd also, just to maybe drive the point forward at how badly we do need an ambulance, or the one in particular that does need to be replaced. I would like to invite each of you to take a ride in that ambulance as if you were a patient who was involved in a motor vehicle accident and riding that rig on the stretcher on a backboard. Take the ride from here to the hospital as if you were a patient and know what that patient feels.
Yeah, I understand that. We have 2 ambulances right now. One of them is the one that you were talking about that you would like to see replaced.
Right.
But I don't hear any justification for a second. We're not talking about getting an ambulance for the town. We already have one that is functional. There's no dispute about that. The issue is whether or not we need a second ambulance. And based on those numbers of calls that have been answered by other ambulance services around our town, and given the fact that you are only available, in the evening and during weekends, we have not received any justification based on the numbers to acquire a second ambulance. That's our concern.
And if that ambulance that is in the best condition, if that goes out of service, you have nothing, and now you're going to more mutual aid.
Well, out of service means that it's the same as nobody's available.
No, out of service meaning that there's something mechanically wrong with it, needs to be fixed.
Yes, I understand. Like, for instance, during the daytime, whether the ambulance is out of service or in service, nobody is driving it because more than likely, people are not available to respond to those calls. So we have ambulance coming out of town while, a rig is sitting there in service or out of service. You understand?
I think I understand where you're coming from. So that you understand, the ideal crew would be 2 EMTs and 1 driver,
Right.
okay? A lot of times, we can get 1 EMT out the door, and we'll run with 1 EMT and a driver, or 2 EMTs, and 1 person is going to take the responsibility of driving, and the other one's getting patient care. But that's not really in the best interest of the patient, if you need that. We do it because it needs to be done.
We're getting the rigs out a lot. I mean, we're there Thursdays and Fridays. We have crews Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are only skeleton crew, and we've been going up there the last couple weeks, getting the calls out. I mean, we are running the calls. If we have an issue at the elementary school, we need both rigs there because of the amount of children that are on the premises during the day. We want to make sure our children, we show tonight that we care about our children, we want the best for them. We only have 1 ambulance, and Holiday City has multiple calls, and they don't have any rigs available. The closest rigs coming is Beechwood or Bayville. We got an issue, we got how many children in that school at a time? We have a motor vehicle accident, we're looking at least 2 people. I'm very rarely alone in my car. You could have 2 or 3 people in a car, 2 people crash, you're looking at 4 to 5 people. You need both of those ambulances. You get a structure fire, you have to have 1 ambulance per 10 firemen. On a working structure fire in the middle of the night, you could have Manitou, Pinewall, Toms River, Beechwood, and Pine Beach coming in for a working structure fire, Manitou or South Toms River. You're looking at 50 firemen. 10 firemen per ambulance. So the means for a second working ambulance is needed. Do they both go out at the same time every day? No. But on the chance that it is, I'm sorry, I'd like an ambulance to respond to me.
Well, we all do. Again, the justification for a second one has not been made based on the numbers. I understand what you're saying, painting that scenario, painting that picture. Any reasonable person hearing that would feel compelled to say, oh, why not? But if we have to make decisions that would require the increasing of taxpayers' money, we have to have the right justification based on the numbers, and which we don't have here. The numbers does not call for the necessity for a second ambulance, unfortunately. Perhaps you may show us a different, give us a different reason by responding more to those calls and having those surrounding ambulance services to respond less to those calls, and next year we'll have a different conversation.
You're going to see if you force us to put it in a position of having to put 1 rig out of service, okay? In other words, we're only gonna be operating 1 rig anyway, and we get back-to-back calls, which does happen. When I say back-to-back, I mean we have a motor vehicle accident, and we have a first aid call, or we have 2 first aid calls, however that amounts to being.
The
You're going to have
numbers
mutual
are
aid,
gonna
you're
go
gonna
up.
rise, and then we're gonna have the same conversation, that we can't justify it. We can't justify 1 rig because you can't get it throughout. Well, yeah, we're getting the crews out, but we have more calls.
But you're still using the second rig. You're still using it.
One of the things that
Hold on. The rig itself is up and running.
Yes.
However, for patient care, if I can explain to you, the ambulances that are in function now in all the towns surrounding us, the stretcher sits in the middle of the back of the rig, and people can work on either side of the patient. This particular ambulance, when we bought the truck, from what I understand is what we could afford at the time, was pushed up against the 1 wall. So now you have not enough room. We can do it, but for safety reasons, for us standing up, a CPR call, childbirth, multiple fractures, head trauma, it's very dangerous. We use it, we use our, the best abilities we have to use it to transport it. But we would like to update it. We would like to get a better riding rig, the suspension in the back. Like my partner said, if you have a motor vehicle accident, you have a C-spine injury, the stretcher is actually bouncing in the back.
You just said that you need a new new box, a new suspension, is that what you're